What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and in today's video we're talking all about Veritas of the Dark. He just got his NV Awakening. We're going to go over builds, if you should really build him up, how good he's going to be, rotations, and then what NV abilities you guys should be working on to make him as strong as you can. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so as you can see from the intro of the video, I had a ton of Veritas of the Dark in the bank to make this guy into his EX plus 2 already. If you guys need any kind of materials for him, such as his STMR, if you're just getting started out in the game, you have a couple of them, make sure you head over to the exchange shop, you go back to the Soon, TM, Soon Coin shop here, and you can buy some more of the things that you need to be making these people Neovision Awakened. As you can see, you can get some Veritas of the Dark fragments, another Ascension Pearl, and you can even get Veritas of the Dark's STMR Trust Moogle 100% for only 500 coins. And it's not the best STMR in the world, but it leads you up to being able to NV Awaken him. So as a unit, how does NV Neovision Awaken Veritas of the Dark stack up to the other units? Honestly, I feel Veritas of the Dark was a mighty swing back by Gumi and Alim from what Tifa was. He's absolutely probably one of the worst Neovision units to come out that have been awakened as far as all the batches that come out, but that doesn't mean that he's useless. He's going to be primarily focusing on dark damage, as we know of Veritas of the Dark, and really has no other use. He's a damage dealer that doesn't produce the damage as other Neovision Awakenable units that we're going to see in the future, and obviously we've seen Tifa. So overall, not the best thing in the book. I mean, don't be worrying about it if you don't have one to mess around with. But if you do want to mess around with one, if you do want to continue, to learn about Veritas of the Dark, that's why I'm here. So in his NV Awakening, in his normal form, so this is not his Brave Shift form, this is his normal form, he is going to be adding a passive that gives him 25% more true double hand, and then he's going to be getting a passive that gives him extra HP, some more attacks, some more MP, so a little bit of stat boostage, and then he's getting a passive that lets him triple cast at the start of battle. So essentially he's awakening his triple casting at the beginning of the battle, and to get up to that 400% true double hand, now you only need 175% thanks to his special buffs that he got from turning into a Neovision. So that means, yes, we are going to be building Veritas of the Dark true double hand. Just throw a great sword into his hand and just make him as strong as you can in that regard. We're not going to build him LB. In his rotation, you'll see that we use his LB, but we're primarily just going to build him as much attack stat as we can, true double hand, and then put killers on him as you see fit. Now, when we switch on over to his Brave Shift form, which looks absolutely amazing. I think they really nailed the change here, the transformation. Some of these Neovision awakenable units, not the new units, but these awakenable ones like Veritas of the Dark and Tifa, I don't think the change really is that great on the units, but man, for Veritas of the Dark, I wish they would have made him a little bit stronger in global, because he looks like a champion standing there like that. So what does he get in his Brave Shift form if we switch over? Well, he's going to have 200% true double hand, and we're going to want to build him true double hand. So we are going to need 200% more coming out of our equipment. He is going to get 100% Beast, Human, and Dragon Killer added to his kit. He's going to be resist to all the nasty and things that we don't really want to get hit by, like Paralyze, Confuse, and Petrify, which is great. And then he's also getting a 150% LB damage boost up. So he's going to get that passively. We're not going to add any more onto that. We are going to be using his LB in this form, and that's pretty much what he gets there. Other than that, guys, again, like I said, Veritas of the Dark is just your run-of-the-mill dark damage dealing unit. The one cool thing about him is, yes, he can absorb dark damage, which is great. But if you're talking about where he's going to see uses, it's when you really just need to be doing dark damage, because he can imbue, imperil, and just wreak havoc with that kind of damage. And like we talked about already, I'm kind of repeating myself here, but if you're wanting to know how much damage he can do more damage than the old chaining units that you've had in the past, but he's not doing anything Neovision level, super high tech. Oh my goodness, his damage is baller. Not that much. So right now I want to go ahead and move on over to his rotation and show you guys how to get the most damage you can out of him if you decide to use him that way. All right, guys, so to the left, as you can see, I have an example rotation you guys can learn with, and I'll talk about the abilities as we go through them. And again, there could be better damage dealing rotations out there for optimal damage, but this will pretty much get the job done when you're trying to use Veritas of the Dark. As with the past rotations I've had up, if you see Brave Shift over the turn name, that means we need to be in their Brave Shifted form. And we'll come to learn that Veritas of the Dark cannot Brave Shift turn 1. So we're going to have to wait for turn 1 to be over, and then we can turn into his awesome Brave Shifted form. But for now, what we're going to have go on is we can use Triple Dark Lord, which that is activated by his new passive from NV Awakening. And we have Dark Aspirations, which is something we're worried about here. This is going to allow us to triple Dark Lord, which is triple cast for 7 turns, and then also increases the modifiers on some of our abilities. It imperils, but we'll have a higher imperil on this turn later on. So we're going to go with Dark Aspirations. We're going to move down to Dark Edge. This is going to be our imbue, so we want to make sure we're doing Dark Elemental damage. That's what we're imperiling. That's what we want to chain with Veritas of the Dark. So we're going to go with Dark Edge. And last but not least, we're going to use Dark Blade of Vengeance. This is going to be the really good damage dealing ability on the normal side of Veritas of the Dark, and then we're also going to be able to imperil pretty big here, so that's what we're going to cast. So we're going to go ahead and have him do that, and then Sylvie's going to give a little bit of MP back, as we know she likes to do. So let's find the MP move real quick, give Veritas of the Dark back his MP. Now, as recording this video, this is right after reset. I'm having some trouble. It could be a bug. It could be something I'm doing on my end. We're going to go ahead and Brave Shift now, but I'm having some trouble with the triple Dark Lord ability. You can see that it's not allowing me to triple cast these abilities, but you are supposed to be able to triple cast these abilities. So instead of just triple casting them, we're just going to talk through it and tell you guys what you're going to be doing on these next few turns. So next up, we're going to have to go to the Lacerating Battle Blade. This is going to be our attack boosting skill. This is going to give us that nice attack boost to make sure that we're dealing as much damage as we can. Next up, we're going to Blade of Carnage, if I can find it right here. This is going to be just a damage dealing ability we want to pop off. It's going to be doing nice damage. And then last but not least, we're heading over to Demonic War Blade. This is going to do some nice dark damage as well, but allow us to get some LB boost for the next turn. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and just cast Demonic War Blade, and then Sylvie can just sit tight right now because we're not going to be using that much MP. Again, this seems like a reset bug, but I need to get this video out. That should be fixed very, very soon. It's probably fixed by the time you're watching this, but you should be able to triple cast all his abilities or he's going to be a super useless unit. So next up, we're going to go ahead and cast his LB. You should have it up by this time. It's going to do actually some pretty good damage. Then it's also going to boost dark damage of LB abilities and magic for casters. So he's actually going to be doing more damage with his LB, which is why it's so good to cast, and it does some pretty good damage there, and we just buffed up our LB damage anyway. So for this turn, we're casting his LB. You can see him jumping around, doing all the cool stuff in his new form, looking really nice, and that's going to be it for turn 3. Pretty simple. Next up, heading into turn 4, another simple move. It's pretty much all about damage dealing. I'm trying to see if this will like click on here for me, but it's not. And you can see that we have a turn cooldown, a turn remaining for Brave Shift. You cannot go willy-nilly back and forth. I think it's actually a 4-turn cooldown before you can switch back, so be aware of that. That's going to be something you need to be aware of. Next up, we're heading over to turn 4, which is we're just going to be casting Blade of Carnage, which is going to be his best damage dealing ability in his Brave Shifted form. And he also has, one better, sorry, but that's Dark Abyssal Blade. That's going to be his big Omni ability, his big Neo Vision ability. He can only use once per turn, and that's going to be his big daddy dealing dealing ability here that we can chain off with Blade of Courage. So we're going to go Blade of Carnage, and then Dark Abyssal Blade, and we're just going to have that pop off for us. So it's going to show you guys what this looks like. It's going to be an SR chaining, and as you guys have probably noticed with the NV units, we are getting a lot of SR chaining families with these. They all seem like they can chain together, which is a good thing, but maybe some people are a little upset because they like a little bit of variety, but as long as everybody can chain together, I'm pretty happy. Next up, we're moving on to turn 5, where we need to boost up our attack again, so we're going with Lacerated Battle Blade. That's going to be boosting up our attack, and then we're finishing it off with, again, his best damage dealing ability, which is Blade of Carnage. So we're going to double cast that and chain it up all nice like. After this, we are going to have to go back into his normal form, and the reason being is his Dark Imbue is going to be falling off, and we need to get back there and make sure we put that bad boy back on. So after we get to turn 6 of his rotation, He's going to switch back over to this, so he's back in his form. We can't turn back in 2 turns, and we have some stuff we have to do here anyway, like give him his Dark Imbue again, and, you know, we need to make sure that we have our triple cast activated. We have 3 more turns before we can activate that triple cast again. To be active all the time, but we really want to get that popped off. We can't even go into his Brave Shift form again for 2 turns. So on this turn, we're going to go with Triple Dark Lord, which actually works on this side right now. Dark Punishment, excuse me, Dark Edge, sorry. That is the one that's going to give you the Elemental Imbue for dark damage. And then his best damage dealing ability here, once you guys get that leveled up, is going to be Dark Blade of Vengeance that you're going to cast over and over again. It would appear that there's a bug here with, it's not an MP problem. You can see the bug is specifically with his NV abilities. But again, when you're actually getting into the game, when they fix this bug, this is how you're going to be doing it. So you're going to cast Dark Blade of Vengeance. And then from here on out, guys, when it comes to Dark Veritas, you just want to make sure some, things are marked off your list. You want to make sure you have your Imperil, your Imbue just like normal, your attack buff, and you have your triple cast always activated, thanks as much as you can, essentially, with Dark Aspirations before you Brave Shift back over. And then you want to just start casting Blade of Carnage being his best ability, and maybe throw in the LB boosting and then use his LB off cooldown because it is very strong. So you can see his rotation isn't very difficult at all, but if they don't fix this bug, it's going to be a big problem. But I hope this helped you out a little bit with at least understanding of Dark Veritas and how to use him in combat. Next up, I want to talk about his NV ability Awakenings and what you need to enhance on Veritas of the Dark to make him really strong. First and foremost, obviously, Blade of Vengeance is going to be great. Dark Blade of Vengeance, that's going to be the main damage dealing ability you will be using on his normal side. Heroic Aura is going to boost up his HP and actually his damage for a lot of his damage dealing abilities, so it's a great one as well. Shadowy Punishment, now this is going to be one if you don't have a great breaker, right? If you don't have a breaker that breaks over 75%, this is going to be good for you. Sadly, it does not break Spirit, as you can see, but attack, defense, and magic, you're going to get done with this, and if you level it all the way up, it's going to be a 75% break there. Moving over to his Brave Shift form, we have Blade of Carnage, which is going to be his main damage dealing ability. You're going to make sure this is built up, because when he's in this form, it's when he's doing the damage, and Blade of Carnage is the one that's doing it. Next up, Leader of the Sworn 6 is one you also want to increase, so it seems like all of his want to be increased besides the breaker one if you have a better breaker. It's going to boost LB damage and restore MP every turn to help you guys with those MP problems. Now, here's the thing I want to talk about. It seems like, man, that's a lot of Fortisight to be putting into Veritas of the Dark, and that's why I highly suggest against using Fortisight on Veritas of the Dark. He's just really not that great of a unit, guys. He's fine to get up there to EX +2, you know, get your Cactuar card so you can level up your Vision card. Mess around with him if you want to have fun, you want to reminisce, look at him in his awesome form we see here. But overall, I feel like it's a highly questionable decision if you guys want to go in and use the Fortisight on him, because, you know, Fortisight is new, it's very limited. I mean, I've been farming my butt off in King Mog, just barely got my Cloud and Tifa maxed out. They're going to be, and if I get Rain, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go in there. Obviously, there are a ton of events out there for you guys to get Fortisight. They're going to be introducing new ones, but as of right now, it just seems like it's going to cut you guys short if you, in the future, you guys get Elena, or you go for Yoshikiri, or you guys get anybody out there that you guys want. You know, you want to have that Fortisight backing them up instead of Veritas of the Dark, which is a unit most people aren't going to mess around with anyway. So I highly suggest against that. So overall, guys, I'm sorry if that, you know, the rotation was kind of a little bit weird. I was stumbling on my words. I did not expect us to have that bug going on out of maintenance, but I wanted to get this video out there to you guys as soon as possible. To wrap things up, like I've been talking about, Veritas of the Dark, cool unit to mess around with. You can EX plus to them because you know, as long as you have the copies to do so, get them Ascension Pearls, it'll be fine. But at the end of the day, he's not worth investing the Fortisight in, at least right now, in my opinion, because everybody has Tifa already. You should really be focusing on Tifa. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've seen anything about this bug, or if you know a way I can fix that, because he definitely should be able to triple cast. Subscribe for future content here on YouTube. Expect my rain video like this to come out tomorrow. I am pulling tonight on my stream at 8 p.m. EST. Be there, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.